Trump's nuclear submarines are now circling Russia's coastline. This isn't just a show of force, it's an ultimatum with a ticking clock. Welcome to Geo Frontline, where we break down the battles behind the borders. Today's story isn't just about Ukraine or Russia. It's about global pressure, strategic deterrence, and America's final warning to Moscow before things spiral into the unknown. Just 48 hours after President Donald Trump issued a strict 10 to 12-day ultimatum, demanding Russia accept a ceasefire in Ukraine, the United States made its boldest military move yet, deploying nuclear-powered Ohio-class submarines to critical points around Russian waters. These subs aren't ordinary naval units. They're armed with Trident 2D5 ballistic missiles, capable of carrying multiple thermonuclear warheads. And now they're positioned within striking range of Russia's most strategic assets. Trump's message to Vladimir Putin is direct and unmistakable: comply or face consequences. The move isn't just about deterrence. It's a calculated strategy to force Moscow to the negotiating table, one way or another. For over 3 years, the war in Ukraine has dragged on. Despite billions in Western aid and sanctions, Russia continues to push deeper into eastern Ukraine. Civilian areas remain under constant threat. And for Trump, patience has run out. According to U.S. officials, the ultimatum outlines 3 clear demands. Russia must immediately withdraw from occupied Ukrainian territories, halt all drone and missile strikes on cities, and accept U.S.-brokered ceasefire terms, which include international monitors and the creation of a demilitarized zone. While the Kremlin hasn't issued an official response, Trump isn't standing still. The United States has deployed nuclear submarines in 3 critical regions: the Barents Sea, near Russia's northern fleet; the Norwegian Sea, near NATO's surveillance perimeter; and the eastern Mediterranean, within reach of Russian positions in Crimea and southern command structures. This isn't just about encirclement, it's about precision. This is what Pentagon officials call a triple pressure arc. It ensures 360-degree leverage with no blind spots. Russia now faces the most direct strategic threat since the end of the Cold War. Surveillance data indicates Russia has already moved some of its own nuclear subs into Arctic waters. Air defense systems near Murmansk and Kaliningrad have been activated, and Russian military units have entered what they call heightened operational readiness. But despite the tough posture, insiders say Moscow is under significant stress. Sanctions have crippled military-industrial logistics. Frontline troop morale is declining, and international diplomatic support is eroding. Meanwhile, China is watching closely, with Beijing increasing crude oil imports from Russia and Iran. The U.S. sees this as open defiance of international sanctions. While not directly involved in Ukraine, China's economic support is helping Putin prolong the war. Trump's administration is considering including China in the pressure campaign, whether economically or militarily, if they continue to bankroll Russia and Iran simultaneously. This isn't just about Ukraine. It's a high-stakes moment in the larger geopolitical chessboard where the U.S. is reasserting global dominance. After years of perceived weakness in foreign policy, Trump is signaling to the world that America is back. And it's not afraid to project power, even through the most feared vessels in its arsenal. But this brinkmanship isn't without risks. A single miscalculation underwater, a sonar misread, a navigation error, or a false alarm could trigger a chain reaction with irreversible consequences. That's why U.S. and Russian military channels are reportedly open around the clock. The Pentagon is using high-level back channels and deconfliction hotlines to avoid unintended escalation. NATO allies have responded with unified support. The United Kingdom, Poland, and the Baltic states have praised Trump's decision. Finland and Sweden, now formal NATO members, are reinforcing naval activity in the Baltic Sea. While Germany and France remain cautious, they're not opposing the deployment. In fact, NATO command structures have quietly greenlit logistical support for U.S. submarines across multiple European ports. Ukrainian President Vladimir Zelensky has welcomed the American move, calling it a turning point in the war. Ukrainian generals believe the pressure may finally stall Russian offensives in the Donbass and open a path to retaking lost ground if Putin blinks. But until the 10-day countdown expires, Ukrainian forces are preparing for all scenarios. Because if Russia refuses the terms, the US may initiate targeted operations, possibly cyber strikes, naval blockades, or precision hits on Russian military infrastructure. In the background, Iran has issued veiled threats. Tehran claims it will respond if the US uses force that jeopardizes Iranian interests or regional allies. This is where things get dangerous. A Russia, China, Iran triangle could pull multiple regions into conflict. What begins with nuclear submarines near Russian waters could extend into the Persian Gulf, East Asia, or beyond. The global power structure is shifting, and Trump's ultimatum is the spark. This is not just a military maneuver. It's a calculated move in a new era of power politics. No more waiting. No more tolerance for endless wars. The US is back to using strength to achieve peace, a strategy that echoes Reagan-era doctrine with modern tools. Trump's goal isn't conflict, it's control. The submarines are silent, but their presence screams louder than any presidential speech. They are the backbone of US deterrence, and now, the front line of American foreign policy. As we speak, naval commanders are executing one of the most complex underwater positioning operations since the Cuban Missile Crisis. The world is watching. Allies are hopeful. Adversaries are nervous. And the next move is Vladimir Putin's. He has until the deadline expires. Because when American submarines go quiet, that's when the real message begins. Thanks for watching Geo Frontline. Stay tuned as we track the final hours of this unprecedented ultimatum. Subscribe for more updates on global power shifts and the strategies that shape our future.